Dog Nation, what's up? It's Josh with the Governor's Bulldogs on a Sunday night. Coming here to talk to you a bit about the Mississippi State game. Georgia gets the win, improves to 8-1, puts together their most complete game of the season on both sides of the ball, man. Offense and defense. Georgia finally puts it together for 4 quarters. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I did not see Georgia blowing out Mississippi State by 20 points this weekend. I thought it was going to be somewhere, in the range of a 3 to a 10-point win. Our SEC games this year have been close, and I expected it to be the same. And Georgia goes out there and handles business, puts together 4 quarters of football, and dominates Mississippi State. And, Kirby Smart said in the press conference in the week leading up to the game, even though we haven't done it yet, our goal as a team is still to dominate our opponents. And they hadn't done that up to this point, but they sure did look good against Mississippi State. And we're going to need that going forward, man. We're going to have a hungry Texas team coming into Athens this Saturday. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't even know how to feel right now. Georgia winning that game by 20 was a relief and was well needed for, I think, all of Dog Nation, all the Bulldog fans. Because we've been on edge all season long. Every single game, I was on the verge of a heart attack and passing out in front of my TV watching this team play. So happy to see them do it. And hopefully we keep improving, keep getting better as we get further and further into November. Still got a shot at the SEC championship, depending on what Alabama and Texas A&M do. We'll talk about that a little bit, as always. And, as long as Georgia can stay healthy and continue to play better and better football and continue to improve going forward, I think Georgia's got a chance to do some good things. So let's talk about this Mississippi State game here for a little bit. So Georgia gets the win 41-21. We're 8-1. Got a big game against Texas. The one thing I saw, I saw some of it in the Florida game, but I saw a little bit more of it in the Mississippi State game, is Georgia is finally starting to find some pass rush. Now, did we get home every time we got pressure on the quarterback and get the sack? No, we didn't, but we're getting pressure on the quarterback more and more. And, historically, Georgia, after the Florida bye, has tended to get a little bit more pass rush since the 2022 season. So hopefully that'll be the same this year. I think we're last in the SEC right now in sacks. Hopefully we'll be able to improve on that, get a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. As we go forward, we're going to need it in this Texas game. As mobile as Arch Manning is, I still think he is a very gettable quarterback when he's back there in the pocket. Nate Frazier, he goes off in this game, 180 rushing yards, had his best performance of the season. I was happy to see that. We've talked about this endlessly on this channel, about these running backs. And I'll say this is the first game that I watched this season where Nate Frazier, I could look at a game that he played this year versus all of his season last year, and I can say, he's gotten better. This was a fantastic performance by Nate, obviously. And the main thing that I saw in this game was, Nate had an explosive and was running away from safeties, breaking tackles, and running away from guys. Showed a little bit more speed, a little bit more explosiveness in this game. Didn't look like he was second-guessing everything he did in this game. And he even mentioned that in the post-game presser. He said, I just went out there and played like I did when I was a kid and just let it loose. And it showed. Quintavious Johnson getting home, that hit that caused the fumble in the second quarter was absolutely huge. Put a whooping on that dude, got the ball loose. Saw a little bit more of Elias Williams in this game as well. That catch down the sideline was a great catch. I think we're going to be seeing more of Elias as we get further and further into November, these later games. I think we're going to use him more and more in the pass game. Another thing I saw improvement on was Gunnar Stockton throwing over the middle of the field. Not only is he doing it now he's starting to do it with some confidence. Because when we were in the beginning of the season, the Marshall game, in the Tennessee game, he would see wide receivers and tight ends open in the middle of the field and see them open. He would turn down that pass and he would scramble, 4-7 yards, something like that, go and get the first down. But he was turning down throws over the middle early on. And now he's taking shots over the middle with confidence. His best pass of the season to me was that throw down the seam to Oscar Delp in this game. So that's good to see. The 3rd and 1 scramble with Gunner, what was an impressive run. Like, I didn't think he was getting that. Where he went to the right, saw that there was nothing there, reverse field, came back around, ended up scrambling. I think it was a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. He ended up getting 7 or 8 on that. The tight ends are getting more and more involved, as they should be. Like, there were large portions and stretches of this season where we were asking, like, where are the tight ends? Like, we've got weapons at tight end. We need to be using them. And I just thought they had an impressive game, man. Like, the blocking, the catching, especially the catch by Elias Williams, the running, like, they look like they're getting faster going later into the season. Oscar Delp's touchdown down the right side. Looked like he's been looking faster and faster, honestly, these last few games. So the tight ends are playing better. We're using them more, and we're going to need that in the Texas game. We're going to need that going forward. We're definitely going to need it against Georgia Tech. The Lawson Lucky hit, man, that was a scary hit. I don't think Lawson Lucky's going to play against Texas, if I had to guess now. Just the way that he looked, the way that he was responding to the trainers in that after he took that hit, that was concerning to me. Like, he was out of it. He was messed up. And, you know, the concussion protocol for one that bad, I just don't see a way that they're going to let him play against Texas. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that he plays, but I wouldn't count on that. Zachariah Branch with another explosive game. Bunch of big catches, explosive touchdown. Like, every time this dude touches the ball, man, something good happens for Georgia. Another thing that I saw was that Kirby Smart's humble enough to take what he saw in the Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame, and he formations Ole Miss basically into a first down where it was, 4th and 4, 4th and 5 at the middle of the field. We did the same thing to them that Notre Dame did to us. You know, had the punt team out there, waited a second, ran the whole offense onto the field. They had to run their defense onto the field. They called a timeout, and then after the timeout, we do it to them again. Run our offense back onto the field. They run their defense onto the field, and we get them on a false start and get the first down. Georgia dominated the middle 8 of this game, which was good to see. Gabe Harris getting a little bit of pass rush. That was good to see. He damn near killed Mississippi State's quarterback, put him out of the game. What else do we want to talk about here? So Noah Thomas sighting a big explosive touchdown from Noah Thomas. He had 3 catches for around 75 yards, so that was good to see. That's something we've been calling for on this channel, was Noah Thomas stepping up, especially with the absence of Colby Young. And there was a point in this game, y'all, that Georgia was up 38-7 halfway through the third quarter. And that's what Georgia fans have been hoping, wishing, and praying for a while now. This was a much appreciated and much needed break from the tenseness that we have felt week in and week out when Georgia has played SEC teams. A couple more things that I want to say about this game is that Ernest Green, ever since he came back healthy, the Georgia offensive line has been looking better and better. Better and better. And I said after the Ole Miss game that, and this is really, I said this at the beginning of the season, like before this season even started on this channel. I said, I think this team's going to go as far as the offensive line takes them. I was hoping that Georgia's offensive line would be able to play together and play healthy the whole season. Kind of a lofty, unrealistic wish, and that didn't happen. You know, it took a long time for the O-line to be healthy. But ever since Ernest Green came back in the Mississippi State game, it looks like these guys have gelled. It looks like these guys are fresh. You know, Ernest Green played the majority of the game at right tackle. And then once the game was in hand, you saw Juan Gaston come in and play right tackle. The O-line has been looking better and better. Like, there were some massive holes that this O-line opened up in this Mississippi State game. And I still believe that now. Like, I still think if the O-line dominates the way that they did against Ole Miss and the way that they did in parts of the Mississippi State game, like, if they play like that, it's going to be very hard for anybody, even Ohio State, to beat Georgia. But it's just, man, the whole thing this season for me has been like, which version of Georgia is going to show up week to week, quarter to quarter? because in the first half of the Auburn game, we looked horrendous. In the second half of the Auburn game, we were able to do a little bit of something, all predicated on the O-line. Like in that game, who was it that came back in that was hurt? I can't even think of his name right now, and that's killing me. I'm going to come back to it in a second. And the defense looking better since the Ole Miss game, really since the fourth quarter of the Ole Miss game. Did we do everything that we needed to for 4 quarters as a defense against Florida? No, but we looked better. And then in this Mississippi State game, it was really the happiest I've been with this defense all season long. Like, yeah, they went down there and they put up 7 on us quick, but Georgia was able to hold them off all the way. I think it was late into the third quarter, early fourth quarter, before Mississippi State scored again. I mean, Georgia scored 38 unanswered points in this game. Anytime you do that in the SEC, that's big-time football. One more kind of thing that, some people may not know, but Drew Bobo, whenever he went out, some people were saying it was a shoulder. It wasn't a shoulder. Like Kirby said in the press conference after the game, that he got a cut on his snapping hand, and they weren't able to stitch it up and get the bleeding to stop before it was time to go back in. And then once it came time to go back in, the game was kind of already in hand, and they figured just go ahead and let the backups play. All right, so going into the Texas game, and I just thought of it. Monroe Freeling in the Auburn game. Like once Monroe came back in the Auburn game and stabilized that O-line, like Georgia's offense was able to move the ball. But when he was out, it was a disaster in the Auburn game. I can't believe it just took me that long to think of it. But anyways, Texas. Going into this Texas game, man, like I talked about this 4 or 5 weeks ago probably. When Texas was down bad and everybody was making fun of them and everybody was making fun of how bad Arch Manning looked in that game or this season so far, I said, listen, a month is a long time and a team can get a lot better in a month. And that's come to fruition. Like Arch Manning has been improving. But he ain't seen a place like Sanford Stadium yet. Like, this is going to be a 7:30 kick. It's going to be dark for 2 hours before the ball's kicked off. But Georgia's got to come out and be ready to play. We cannot have bad Georgia show up in this game. What was Texas doing while Georgia was playing Mississippi State? Texas was watching the Georgia game. They had a bye this weekend to get ready for Georgia while Georgia went on the road and played at Mississippi State. Like, they're going to have some stuff schemed up. Like, I'm probably going to this game, and I'm not going to flip out if Texas scores on the first drive because that's kind of to be expected going into this game. But Georgia's got to come out and play their A game. The Sanford Stadium crowd has to be the best it's ever been. Like, I'm telling you guys now, this Texas team is a prideful team. They've got a lot of talent. They've got a lot of good players. They have been improving. They're trending upward. So we can't come out here and mess around with this Texas team this weekend. We just can't do it. The crowd's got to be loud and involved. We've got to make this the hardest road environment that Arch Manning's ever seen. And this Georgia pass rush that we talked about in this video, like, they've got to go do it. They've got to go get after it. So I hope Georgia's able to put it together, man. Like, I hope what we saw in the Mississippi State game is actually the direction this football team is heading. And it's not this back, forth, up, down thing that we've seen with Georgia. Where it's, a couple steps forward, a couple steps back, a couple steps forward, a couple steps back. I hope that we put a butt whooping on Texas and are just able to continue improving through November. Because, man, I'm telling you guys, I've seen stranger things happen. Like the thing with the Texas A&M and the Alabama's got to lose too for us to go and them to not. So I'm not really counting on that. But A&M could drop a game, and we could end up playing Alabama like that. So that's something to look out for. I've seen stranger things happen. Like, it's not impossible that we're going to end up in the SEC championship game. Now, whether we want to play in it or not, I mean, that's fan to fan. Like, I don't know. Like, of course I want to win the SEC championship. I want to play in the SEC championship. I want to finally beat Alabama, but, we lost our starting quarterback in that game last year. We didn't play good after a bye. No team that had a bye played good in last year's playoffs. So, man, there's a lot that goes into that. I'm just going to let it work itself out. Like, I'm not going to get wrapped up in, whether we play in it or not. Like, I'm just focused on the Texas game, and that's it. And then I'll be focused on the Charlotte game, and then I'll be focused on the Georgia Tech game. Like, we've got plenty of work left to do and plenty to keep us busy. But Georgia right now sitting 8-1. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys, and you guys know this. Like, that's better than I picked Georgia to be at this point in the season. I picked us to lose to Bama, and I picked us to lose to Auburn. And I'm surprised that we haven't dropped a game since then. We've had some close calls, but Georgia's able to pull these games out. They're hard to beat. Kirby Smart said before this season, like, what we're going to do, we're going to stop the run, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to play harder and more physical than everybody else, and we're going to be the best conditioned team. And he was right, man. Like, Georgia's sitting here 8-1. Has got one SEC game left in Texas. You able to win that and go to 9-1, you got Charlotte and Georgia Tech left. The Georgia Tech game is going to be an all-out war. But Georgia, man, if they keep getting better, they can make a run in the playoffs. But we can't have bad Georgia show up again this season. You do it, you're going to get beat. So I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to say about this game. I kind of was all over the place on this one. I wrote my notes after the fact. Ever since the YouTube TV debacle that we've been going through, I used to be able to record the games and rewatch them multiple times before I made these videos. But with the whole YouTube TV thing, I had to switch to Fubo, and I didn't make a permanent record every Georgia game on that yet. So I got to go do that right now, actually. But anyways, glad you guys tuned in. I'll be back this week to talk about the Texas game. Hopefully I'll be going to the Texas game. Georgia's got to get that one, man. The Sanford Stadium crowd has to show up, and I think they will. I think they know how big of a game this is. Texas is coming in here to beat you. Texas wants to duplicate what we did to them last year. Like, they want their lick back. So I'm expecting Texas' best shot. Georgia's got to play their best under the lights and defend their house, man. Let's get another streak going. Talk to you guys later. Y'all have a good week, and go Dogs.